All right, it is time for 31 Days of Horror 2019 with Hereditary. Oh my gosh, that image, it's creepy. This is a creepy one. This is a creepy one. So, hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm super excited to be here today and to talk about the film Hereditary as a part of 31 Days of Horror. I am just having so much fun doing this, and I just really enjoying watching some horror movies, and this one was like a good one to include. It was a good one to include. So let's look at some of the details for the film. It was written and directed by Ari Aster. It's a feature film directorial debut, which is pretty impressive because it's very well done. The cast includes Toni Colette, Millie Shapiro, Alex Wolff, and Gabriel Byrne. It is from 2018, and I would say that it's a sort of atmospheric horror movie, or as they have here, it's a supernatural horror movie. Sometimes I have a challenge on whether or not I want to share whether a film is a supernatural horror movie, but I'll talk about that a little bit more as we get into it. I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 and a heart on Letterboxd. I might put it down to a 4. I think in terms of out of 10, I would settle on 8.5. It's really well done, but I do have like one with it, which I probably will have to wait till the spoiler zone to get to it. But it is one that really impressed me and has really sat with me, and I have thought a lot about since I have seen it, and let's just get into it. So this centers on I don't know who I would say the protagonist is. Toni Collette's character, her mother passes away, and we start there with her, Toni Collette's family. She's married to Gabriel Byrne, and they have 2 kids. And it's just, you can just feel this family, just there's something that feels just a little odd. She makes miniatures, and just everything about that felt really creepy, and the house just felt really creepy. And then just things start to get even more creepy. Like everything about this movie pretty much surprised me. And I will say that I didn't know anything going into it other than hearing strong recommendations from people I trust, including Marina. I'll leave her letterbox down below, and also Luke Ryan from here on YouTube. I'll leave his, he has a video about this one, and I'll leave that up above. And I just was like, just blown away. Like, I honestly, this is one of those movies that, like, I actually think is better to go into without knowing anything, but it's one that I can't widely recommend because I found it extremely scary. It does deal with some subject matter that is definitely challenging, and it has some very shocking and, I was gonna say visually descriptive. I've been reading a lot. Like very, some of the visuals are very disturbing and very shocking, and thematically it has some very challenging subject matter as well. Obviously it deals with death because Toni Collette's mother passes away, and just lots of strange family relationships. And I think actually I can't really talk about it too much because I would just, if you like horror, go see this. And if you have sensitivities in any horror realms, maybe don't watch it. And one of the questions I have for myself for this 31 Days of Horror is, was it scary? And I would say yes. I found it very scary. I watched it sort of like late afternoon into evening, so like it was light out when I started watching it, but it was pitch black when I finished watching it. So I was like all like, put all the lights on, and I just I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to watch something else really light and fluffy after this because it was intense. And I think it's also both the atmosphere that's created within the family, this sort of like strange atmosphere within them, not within them, but like within their house, within their relationships. There's always something that feels just a little bit off. And then also things that happen that are like, are they even possible? Are they not possible? This is where the sort of supernatural elements come in, and you're like, what's going on? What's real? What's not real? And it just spirals. And I found it shocking in theme as well as visually. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say. I will definitely watch more from this director, whatever they come out with next. I would definitely want to watch it. I still can't believe it's a directorial debut. Like, it's so well done, especially because it's a writer-director. Like, the story is tight, and the like, it does that perfect blend of leaving enough possibilities, different possibilities to be the resolution, so that it doesn't all go in one direction, that you are unnerved, that you are concerned, that you want to see more, however you want them to stop what they're doing. Like, it really gets all of those marks, and it has the tension really just wow, just really good. I am actually surprised at how much the miniatures freaked me out. Which is a weird thing to come back to. So I would definitely recommend it to horror fans, but not if you have some sensitivities, because there's some really shocking visuals, I found. But if you're a horror fan, I think this is an iconic film, and I think that you should see it. So I'm going to leave it there for the general stuff, and then I am going to go into the spoiler zones, because there are a couple of things that I wanted to mention, one of which is the thing that keeps me going, where do I rate this? And then some of the other things are just like, can you believe that happened? Kind of moments that I just gotta like get out, because it was like, wow, wow. So for me, like, even just, actually, I would love to hear people's thoughts on this, because I struggled with whether or not to say this was a supernatural film, because, until you know what's actually going on, it could be something else, right? Like, it could be someone tricking them, it could be all in someone's head, it could be any number of things. I actually thought, with the miniatures, I actually thought somehow maybe she was a miniature doll, and someone was like, or she was making all of this happen with the dolls, some kind of living doll thing. It's not so, but you never know, right? It could have been. But the fact, when you say something supernatural, then the actual resolution is supernatural. And in this case, it kind of was, it kind of wasn't, because as this is huge spoiler, so end of the movie, very very end of the movie spoiler here. So because it does come down to the fact that actually, I can't remember if it was Satan worshippers specifically, or demon worshippers. It was worshippers of dark evil forces that were doing magic spells to make all of these horrible things happen. And so that puts it in the realm of supernatural, and as opposed to other kinds of things. Although I don't know if any non-supernatural thing could have been the case. It could have been all in someone's head. That could have been the case. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on that, on whether or not knowing something supernatural feels like a spoiler, because I often struggle. There's a couple other movies I could give examples to, one way or the other, whether or not like that line is tread the entire film, and the resolution of it is a spoiler. This one, I think, you pretty much know something weird is going on. People are having weird dreams, strange things are happening, but also strange things are happening out in the world. There were definitely lots of things that I thought were amazing about this, even just the setup, like her eulogy to her mother, like about how she was a very secretive woman and how they didn't get along and stuff like that. I found it very touching as well as disturbing, and it really set the tone, and the whole very strange friendship that forms between Toni Colette's character and the woman she doesn't know is her mom's friend is done so well. Like, because it's actually her mom's friend just trying to lure her in and get her to do things and get her on side and all this stuff. And you just feel like she's, reaching out to someone else who is experiencing grief. And it's so horrible that she's turning things that way. For me, I gotta say that it's strange as it may be, the most shocking moment in the film, like the death of the daughter was horrific. That was horrific, and it was shocking. But the most shocking moment of the film was actually when Toni Collette's character says to her son something to the effect of, "I never wanted to be your mother." And it ends up being a dream. I actually can't remember if it's his dream or her dream, but that moment was just horrifying. Like, it was just so horrifying. And that's one of the reasons why I think this film is so excellent, is that it treads those different levels of emotions, like both strong knee-jerk reactions to scary things, but also very deep base emotional things and relationship things that are very impactful. And her horror in that she said it, like she actually gasps, and like it was just like, it was one of the most shocking things I've seen in film, like, for a very long time. It's just like this admission, but it's like you don't even know if it's like, I actually don't even know if it was true or not, because I don't know if it was her dream, I don't know if it was his dream, and all of those kinds of things, and or if she's being influenced by the worshippers because they're trying to, manifest the thing and someone kind, like, it was just that stuff for me. That's where I felt like this is where the star rating goes a bit like this, is that I didn't love that that was the resolution, and that's just a personal type of preference, it's a subjective thing, and because I didn't like it. I didn't like that I did feel like it was believable. I did feel like it tracked with, like, all of the breadcrumbs were there, but we could have gone in other directions as well, but I just didn't find it, like, it was very scary, and disturbing. But I don't know. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite in terms of supernatural ish films, for the resolution to be basically humans doing horrible things. And that's cross genre, like cross subgenre, like slasher films are like my least favorite horror movies. And just people being horrible or people doing evil is generally is my least favorite of horror films. So, but with this one, because it felt like it could be a spirit, it could be a ghost, it could be a haunting, it could be, as I said, miniature dolls living through the, I don't know, like, obviously not that, but but it's just not one of my favorites. So that's where I keep on flipping it between, like, sort of 8.5, and it's a totally subjective thing. It has nothing to do with the quality of the film, right? The quality of the film is excellent. It's like I can totally, like, initially, until that point, it actually, for me in my heart, it was a 5-star movie, and then I was like, oh, I don't like people being horrible, so it just brought it down. And that feels not the best, but it is true. So, and ratings are subjective, so I'm allowed to do that. So anyway, I am really, 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 really happy that I took a chance on this one. I'm really happy that I decided to watch it before I saw anything about it, and I really had a great time watching it. So it's one that's worth going into without knowing anything. And at this point, you can't do that because I just said all the stuff. So hopefully the people that are still watching or people that have seen it. But I really enjoyed it, and it was a great. I hope it's a great like new favorite. Although I don't know how I would feel about it on rewatch. Gotta give it some time. Gotta give it some time. I'm focusing on new horror, like new to me horror films right now. I'll think about rewatches sometime in the future. So there you go. There was Hereditary. I definitely recommend it. Very scary. Well done. Met expectations, even exceeded expectations, which is always such a treat with horror, because it doesn't happen all that often, but this time it did. So there you go. Hereditary, definitely a winner. Thanks so much for watching.